Alright guys, this video is going to go over how to perform a dumbbell fly on a bench. So the dumbbell fly will be a movement that will bias our pec. The benefit of doing a fly over a press is it hits just your chest. A bit more than like a press where you're going to get a bit more front delt involvement, front of your shoulder, or in other words, your anterior delt, and also a bit more tricep involvement because you're moving at the elbow, you're straightening the elbow, which is what the tricep will help you do. So this can be good for someone who maybe has big triceps, big shoulders, but a weak chest, or for someone who just wants to get more work in for their chest and it's not as tiring for their triceps. So that's a ramble out of the way. You want to think about holding dumbbells towards the middle, have pressure throughout the full hand, and then to get into position, think chest up, core tight, rock back with the dumbbell, start with your arms straight, make sure you're nice and stable on the bench, and thinking about pushing myself up slightly at all times, keeping my chest proud and my core tight. Chest proud simply means I'm not allowing my chest to drop, my shoulders to rise, and kind of keeping my chest tall, but I'm not completely arching my back and keeping my core engaged because that will influence how well you target your chest. And from here, I'm thinking about bringing the dumbbells down. I'm allowing my elbow to bend in the bottom position. The reason being is you can perform it with your arms straight, but for some people it's not as comfortable in the shoulder joint, and I feel a better stretch when I allow a bit of bend in my elbow, so I allow that. And then think about driving my elbows in. That's the role of your chest, to basically, or one of the roles, is to adduct your upper arm, bring your upper arm close to the midline of your body. So think about driving your elbows together, or driving your biceps into your chest can be a good cue to use. And then just be really slow going into that stretch position because it is very heavy there, so it's quite a vulnerable position to potentially be in, which is why I like performing this typically after doing another sort of press, so my chest is warm and it's nice and safe. And I'm thinking airing as I lower, keeping my chest proud, core tight. I'm not thinking up, I'm thinking driving my elbows in throughout. As for how low you should take this movement, a good way to assess, get into the position like you're going to perform it with the dumbbells, see how low you can get your arms, think about like pulling them down as far as possible. This is your active range of motion, which will probably be like your full range of motion, while keeping it on the chest. And this is what I'm simply trying to replicate throughout this movement. Don't worry too much about like bashing the dumbbells together or like coming all the way up to the top. Stay kind of in the rep, if that makes sense, because there's not a lot of tension there, so there's not a lot of value in visiting that position as a result of that. And this will train your chest, slightly your front delt, but that's not the goal. And it will train, depending on like the bench angle, this will train more so our sternal fibers of the chest, which is your middle chest, bit of your lower and upper one as well. However, you're never going to isolate one part of your chest, but if you wanted to get a bit more upper pec, I'd tuck my elbow a little bit more, have the bench a bit higher to try and do so.